The Eastern Airways British F1 Sidecar Championship has had a long summer break, but we're back here at Donington Park for round 7 of this riveting championship in the 2013 season. An awful lot's happened since you last saw us at Brands Hatch. The wheelchair-bound Swede Johan Reuterholt is back with a Swedish passenger. He's been going well in practice. Sean Hegarty and Callum Lawson have parted company since their retirement at Brands Hatch. But the story this weekend, I think, is going to be about Ben and Tom Birchall and, of course, series leader Tim Reeves. They had a ding-dong in qualifying. They're separated by about 0.4 of a second on the grid. This is how the guys line up for race 1. That pole position time of Ben and Tom Birchall is under the lap record. It doesn't count as a lap record, of course. They've got to do it in the race. Hegarty and Peach, row 2. Lovelock and Holland, row 3. Ricky Stevens and Mark Edwards making up row 4, with Craig Chaplin going well with Johnny Briggs alongside Gary Horsepole. John Clark teamed up with Justin Sharp. He's looking good as well. Good to see John Holt and Andy Winkle back here on row 7 alongside Simon Gilbert, Ashley Moore. There Tony Brown with Callum Lawson on row 8, and at the back Rupert Archer, Ian Drown, Rod Robinson and Craig Nichol from Scotland. Well, it's a 10-lapper round here. That's the plan anyway, and it's going to be interesting to see how Reeves, number 77 there on the left-hand side of your picture, alongside Ben Birchall, straight off the back of 6 straight World Championship wins, the Birchall brothers. So straight away they go into the lead as they go down towards Redgate. Reeves slotting into second, Ben Holland, Lee Watson in third. There's Mark Edwards on the Kawasaki shuffling alongside Ricky Stevens. Away they go out of Hollywood into Craner Curves. Birchall's already 2 lengths, 3 lengths clear. Round they go, up towards, they're out, round they go, round Starkey's. Oh, look, who's that? That's Ben Holland gone off. Ben Holland alongside Sean Hegarty, he's gone to the rough stuff. And here, there's Reeves, and look at Reeves on the inside of Birchall's. Birchall's have left a hole big enough to drive a barn door through. He's on the gravel, Reeves needed no second bidding, and now Ben and Tom Birchall grass tracking to play catch up here. Tom Birchall's hand goes up. They're back in the middle of the action, but what a lot of chasing they've got to do. Reeves then leads from Hegarty. He was going to go for that gap. It was a big gap as well. At the Foggy S's, Tim and Tristan Reeves, through they go. Hegarty, that looks like Andy Peach in third. Is it? Yes, it is. Andy Peach in third. Then it's Roger Lovelock, the reigning champion. Tim and Tristan Reeves just looking. He's got this habit of looking over his shoulder to see where the opposition is. No sign of Ben and Tom Birchall at this moment. Oh, Johnny Briggs. Johnny Briggs is out of it. That's Craig Chaplow's passenger, Johnny Briggs. Now, what's happened there? What has happened there? The marshal running to help him. Tim and Tristan Reeves, meanwhile, go on. Hegarty. Then look at this. That's a big, big gap. Ben Birchall knew he was on the inside, but he can't stop it. He keeps the power on. It's snaking. Now, of course, it's damage limitation. He has to drive across the gravel. That does not. There's been an impact here. The sidecar wheel arch missing from Ben and Tom Birchall's bike. Is that the incident involving Craig Chaplow? Ben Birchall is spitting feathers. There is Craig Chaplow. Johnny Briggs' passenger missing. I think they've had a massive coming together. That's what it looks like to me. Now, quite where that was, I've no idea. Looked like the Melbourne Loop. Meanwhile, Tim and Tris Reeves, there is a flag showing limited adhesion. Spots of rain in the air. Spots of rain in the air. Tim and Tristan Reeves with Sean Hegarty and James Neve in this weekend. Scott Lorry's regular passenger closing him down. They're on the charge. Hegarty's on the charge. Peach is with them. And he's closing. Hegarty closing has done a very, very quick there. Look at that, 135.3. That is 1/10 of a second outside the lap record. Lap record held by the Birchalls. Ben Holland, Lee Watson. That's Gary Horsepole and Paul Napton retiring the Honda, the Krombacher Honda, out of the running. Tell you what, though, Sean Hegarty has not given up. Hegarty right on the back now. Look at Reeves ahead. He's a class act, isn't he, Tim Reeves? But Hegarty closing him down as they go into McLean's. Heading up now towards the double apex right-hander of Coppice. Up the hill they go. They're at Coppice now, round the first apex. There's the second apex. Away they go, down the back as hard as they can. They're onto the Dunlop straight. Heads down over the rise. Hegarty's coming up to the S's. Looking right, looking left. Reeves, though, riding a defensive line, clipping the curve on the left-hander. This is the pilot's eye view and spots of rain on the camera. Big black cloud on the right-hand side of your picture there. It is damp out there, but only on certain parts of the track. It's not all the way around the track. Now the sun is coming out again, still the limited adhesion flag. The sun's coming out at one part of the circuit, and it's torrential rain at other parts. Tristan Reeves, hand in the air, they're looking back. Is this going to be a stoppage? Race leader calling it here. Tim Reeves puts his hand up as he goes over the start-finish line. Are we going to see a red flag result here? Just when Sean Hegarty was getting close, and he was indeed charging. But I think we have a stoppage. I think we have a stoppage. Still, though, they're forcing on. It is very, very wet. No, race goes on. Race goes on. Reeves then getting second wind here, stretching the gap again from Hegarty. And now again the hand. And we have a red flag. That is it. Finally, Judgment Day arrives, and the hand goes in the air. And we have a stoppage, a premature end then to this race one. No doubting the victors, and taking the lead halfway around the first lap in somewhat dramatic fashion, Tim and Tris Reeves from Hegarty Beach. That's the podium. Lovelock, Holland got 5th. Mark Edwards ahead of Ricky Stevens. John Clark, a great return for him, 8th. Tony Brown there in 9th. Johan Reuterholt, good to see the Swede back on the scoreboard with 11th place. Tim and Tristan Reeves, a dramatic race, bit controversial because the rain came down, but nonetheless a hectic first lap. You said to me when he came in, what happened to Ben Birchall? You didn't see him, but he went off in pretty dramatic style.
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, he got off the line better than me. I passed him pretty clean. Well, I don't know. You know, it's not dominoes, is it? We're racing, so I passed him into McLean's there, and then I looked back at Coppice and he wasn't there, but we definitely didn't make contact with him, so it wasn't their doing.
Sean Hegarty was on you. If it hadn't been stopped for the rain, do you think he'd have bothered you all the way to the flag?
Well, when it started raining, it puts you on edge a bit, didn't it? And I backed it off a bit, and you know, he's aggro, isn't he? I enjoy riding with him, so who knows? Yeah.
Well done, Tim. Another
Thanks
way.
very much. Cheers.
Your race winners for the 10th time this season, Tim and Tristan Reeves. Well done to...
Is this the shape of things to come, I wonder? They certainly start young, don't they? Three-wheel skills at a very early age. What a lovely piece of kit. I'm going to try and grab a ride on that later on, but for now, we're taking a short break. Don't go away. The drama and controversy in race one really put the cat among the pigeons as far as the grid is concerned for race two, and that's where we are right now. At least it's dry, no rain in the air. I think we'll get this race done and dusted. It's a 10-lapper. It was 5th place for Ben Holland and Lee Watson. We're standing on row one where Tim Reeves is going to line up. Ben Birchall and Craig Chaplow, after their incident at the Melbourne hairpin, theoretically are at the back of the grid, except that Ben and Tom Birchall have gone home. Their outfit's too badly damaged. Chaplow worked all night to get his up and running, so he will start from the back of the grid. Second place, Sean Hegarty, passengered by James Neve, who's standing in now. Callum Lawson has departed the scene. Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson here. They had a good run through. These are your first two rows. Tim Reeves will make his way through in his own good time. One of these days he's going to miss the start. It's a 10-lapper. It's going to be a good race. Let's get it on. Hot foot back to the commentary point. I can tell you, I'm glad it's close. Just across the pit wall, back in comms. Here we go. A 10-lap race. The red flag, green one at the back, being indicating that everything is under control. Now Hegarty, can he go one better this time, I wonder, alongside Tim and Tristan Reeves, of course, in pole position as a result of their victory. Andy Peach, look at Andy Peach. Roger Lovelock's BMW is... Oh, Hegarty is squeezed. He was absolutely squeezed as Andy Peach came across there and had to go left and then come out again from behind Andy Peach, and he's got some points to score, Andy Peach, definitely. Ben Holland also mid-pack, he had a terrible start. Ben Holland, look at that. What's up with Hegarty? They're all rushing past Hegarty. Oh, look, he's got a problem. He's got a problem. He's not even going to complete the first lap. What a shame. What a disappointment for him. They had clutch problems in qualifying, but they got out in time to set 4th place. Is it a recurrence of that, I wonder? Now, closely packed action all the way around, but look at the lead that Tim Reeves has got already from Lovelock. Then it's Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood. They got a cracking start. They're 3rd. Peach in 4th. Dark clouds, as I said at the outset, but hopefully we're going to get this one away in the dry. 4th place for Peach. Behind him, Mark Edwards. Then it's John Clark. Oh, Simon Gilbert, Ashley Moore, another retirement for them. Wiggly woggly all over the place. That's one hand on the outfit. It'll shake its head. 2nd, Roger Lovelock. Peach going up the inside. Oh, Pete, that's coming together there. Andy Peach collided with Lovelock, has thrown it sideways. Drama indeed at the Melbourne hairpin. Charlie Richardson still very much in touch on the back. And what's that done? Ricky Stevens is now up to 2nd. Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood on the Assured Office Solutions Yamaha in 2nd. Lovelock and Aki Alto, number 1, right behind them. Then it's Mark Edwards. Lovelock looking at the inside at Redgate, getting it sideways a little bit. My goodness me, calm down, boys. 10 laps, a long way to go. Ben Holland and Lee Watson ahead of John Clark. Ricky Stevens is getting away here. He's in 2nd place and has pulled a gap. No, he hasn't. In too hot. The back end's gone. He spins it. Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood stationary, and they're on the racing line. Come on, boys. Get that thing off the tarmac. Are you okay? Yes, of course I'm okay. Let's get it moved. They are very close to the racing line there. Well, that's a sign of things to come, I think. He's got the speed, Ricky Stevens. Look at the lead Tim Reeves has. The length of the Dunlop Straight. Now the battle is all about this. So Roger Lovelock on the Driver Wolf BMW, Mark Edwards and Lee Barrett on the Kawasaki in 3rd. There's Tony Brown and Callum Lawson, 57, with Barry James and Mark Howard. Mark Howard having his last ride before he departs for Afghanistan, because he is, after all, a serving soldier. Ben Holland and Lee Watson on the inside of John Clark, having a battle royal. The man from Banbridge, County Down, number 90, John Clark. He's a toughie. Look at that. He's not going to give an inch. Ben Holland trying to muscle his way through on the Finning Cat Suzuki. And John Clark, Darky, as he's known affectionately around the paddock, is denying him that opportunity. We're on board now. There's Justin Sharp getting over on the back of John Clark's outfit. Through goes the Finning Cat Suzuki. Ben Holland, Lee Watson then gained another place. Now they've got to get off in pursuit. They're in 4th at the moment. Ahead of them, Mark Edwards and Lee Barrett. This is really, really interesting stuff. Mark Edwards, rumoured to be retiring, but then this weekend I learned that he might well be back next year in a 2-bike team under another sponsor. So watch this space as far as Mark Edwards and Lee Barrett are concerned. Everyone waiting with bated breath for the official announcement. Some of us know more or less what's going to happen, but it is not my place to impart that knowledge yet. Craig Chaplow, 73, out of it. So his weekend best forgotten. Johnny Briggs, though, surviving that big incident in race 1, so it's good to see Johnny Briggs on his feet. Holland, number 60. Lee Watson being thrown about on the back, but are they going to be able to find a way past? Mark Edwards has got designs of his own up the inside there. Look at that. That was really, really close. Maybe next time. Past the Kawasaki and ahead. Now they are. Ben Holland, Lee Watson up to third in pursuit of Roger Lovelock and Aki Alto. Third place now for the Finning Cat Suzuki. And look at Mark Edwards, he's really not given up the chase yet. He knows he's running at the same race pace and wants to claw that place back. 1:36, almost 1:36 dead. 0.8 of a second outside the lap record, so Tim Reeves won't be breaking his neck. I can tell you at this point in the proceedings, he'll have backed off, he's cooling it. He'll know he's got something like a 12-second lead over the man in front of you, or in front of Ben Holland, shall I say, on the #1 driver walk BMW, and up the inside. Now to second place goes the Holland and Watson pairing. Brilliant. Second place then for Finning Cat number 60, the yellow and black bike. Quite a few corporate guests expected for them this weekend, so the boys putting on a very, very good show here. They need these points as well. Where's Andy Peach? That's the important thing as far as they're concerned, because Andy Peach is their biggest rival in the championship, sitting just ahead of them. Tony Brown, number 57, there he is. Barry James, 112, there he is. Look at Mark Edwards on the inside now of Roger Lovelock, but Lovelock has got his own. Oh, look, what was that all about? Was it? Oh, Lee Barrett in the middle of the track at the Melbourne hairpin. Roger Lovelock survived that, but it looked to me as though Mark Edwards was lining him up to make a move, and clearly, let's have a look at it. Let's see what we can see. He's diving up the inside, and frankly, there's no room there. Gets it sideways. Poor old Lee Barrett cannot hang on at that point, and he's in the middle of the traffic. Very, very lucky not to be collected. Mark Edwards shaking his head. Now, was that a bit of driver error? Was that over-exuberance? It was certainly over-exuberance as far as this young man was concerned. Lying in second place, went in a bit too hot, lost the back end. Brother Wayne and Stuart, the sponsors, walking across. Rod Robinson and Nick Webb retiring their number 10 Kawasaki. And out they go. Look at John Clark, he's put in a great ride, but Tony Brown has gone past him. Tony Brown, the new BEMC F1 champion, he's clinched that title, and as a result of doing that, he has gathered some new sponsors. There's Johan Reuterholt with Peter Wall, English-sounding name, but I can assure you it's a Swedish passenger. Reeves, Holland, Lovelock, there's your top three. Brown up to fourth and going well, and there he is ahead then of John Clark. There's Tony Brown over the rise on the Dunlop straight, coming up to the S's, down 3 gears here. Callum Lawson made it. It was a little bit nip and tuck, but he got across in time. It is very difficult to get across left there under braking. Second place firmly in the hands now of Ben Holland and Lee Watson. Lovelock, Aki Alto in third. That's the battle for fourth. Andy Peach was on the charge. Where's he come from? He's come from nowhere. He's now up to fifth, having gone past John Clark, Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson on the L&W Suzuki on a mission. Their nemesis, Ben Holland and Lee Watson, some 2 places ahead of them. There's Clark. And there is 112 Barry James, which begs the question, where is Tony Brown? Because this is John Holden and Andy Winkle, new British F2 champs. Horsepole and Napton alongside Ian Drown and Ken Edwards. In fact, Ian Drown and Ken Edwards, Kawasaki getting the better of the Kronbacher Honda, but fighting back Horsepole, not to be outdone, tucks it inside and makes it stick. So 32 Horsepole and Paul Napton going well now. They're past 170 Drown and Edwards and on a mission. That Honda's not been the most reliable thing this season, but when it goes well. Oh, there's Tony Brown. Tony Brown and Callum Lawson. What's gone on here? Lawson, I think, looking as though he's been struggling to hold on, and it's oil. Oil on the outfit, oil on his gloves, that explains everything. So Callum Lawson was getting very slip-slidey in Tony Brown's outfit. They simply could not go on the last lap. 2 miles to go then for Tim and Tristan Reeves, with half of the Donington Park circuit between them and the chasing pack. And I have to say, in fairness, the chasing pack have not been without incident. Every one of them has been involved in some sort of scuffle at some stage, and that gave Tim and Tristan Reeves the opportunity to clear off. They needed no second bidding. Third place, number 1, Driver Wolf BMW, Roger Lovelock and Aki Alto. I almost said Rick Lawrence there. That was old habits died hard. Rick Lawrence, of course, not having ridden with Lovelock for some 3 meetings now. Aki Alto from Finland doing the business for Lovelock, the reigning British champion. Ben Holland, Lee Watson, well, they're on a 20-point position here, and this will help their championship standings because the man ahead of them is 2 places behind in the race, so they will definitely claw back some points. It'll be another maximum, though, 25 for Tim and Tristan Reeves, who, I have to say, it does appear that when they and the Birchells get together, regardless of Ben Birchall's current form, Tim Reeves seems to spook him somehow. It always seems that way. It's not been without incident when they've met. Let's see the roles reversed, please. Come on, Ben, get your act back together. This is a Ben as well, Ben Holland. Over the line, he goes to secure second place, and that's their best result of the season. Great for them. Andy Peach gets 4th. Confirmation of the win coming up, but it was a brilliant and a stunning victory for Tim and Tristan Reeves. They just march on supremely in the Eastern Airways British F1 Sidecar Championship. There it is. 16 minutes that race took. Interesting, eh? 12 seconds behind Holland, Lovelock in 3rd, Peach, John Clark. What a great result for him ahead of Barry James. John Holden must be thrilled with 7th, Rupert Archer, and young Sam Christie having a first-time outing there in 11th from Ian Guy and Ben Ransley. That was a hefty margin, nearly 15 seconds, Tim. Brilliant ride, flawless.
Yeah, I didn't know what Sean was going to do, did I? And I said to Tris, I got a bad habit of looking behind me. I said, with Sean being on form, we pushed really, really hard for 3 or 4 laps. And I looked back and Arm was there, and I couldn't believe it. I thought he was, I expected him to be over my shoulder, but and then a couple of laps in, I saw his bike parts on the side. So unfortunately, obviously, the DNF.
101 points, the lead. It's massive from Peach now up to 2nd. Hegarty, his retirement dropped him behind Andy Peach. Ben Holland closing, still there though in 4th. Lovelock, his season gets better and better. Mark Edwards, Lee Barrett, could have been a different story if they kept it going. Gary Horspoll and Paul Napton will be pleased with 11th in the championship on 55 points. Are we going to see Jörg Steinhausen back here? I wonder. The Birchells still with their 40, and there it is. Sloanes, they get no luck. Well, it looks as though we've got away with it just in time. It could well rain here within the next 5 minutes. The skies are very black. Another good race. The next round is in Assen in Holland. We all go across the water in 2 weeks' time. Can anybody stop Tim Reeves? That's your question to answer. See you then. Bye-bye.